This VIP culture in Jagannath temple should stop.
Stop this culture, sir.
It's not in the rule book. If you throw the rule book, you say Dham is in the rule book, and when how and why and when the Rath Yatra will be held, it is all codified. Codify this also. Jagannath is the Lord of the masses. He is the Lord of the poor, for the underprivileged, for the downtrodden. People don't treat him like a god. They treat him like a friend, a companion. I don't think it was possible, if the wood was kept inside the temple, to take it out. The temple is under CC surveillance for 24 hours. You don't even need questioning. You can check the CCTVs. And such a big piece of wood certainly was not left over, because that has already been told by the Maharana who had made, the carpenters who had made the Vigraha. They said no, it's impossible. Next to impossible. It cannot be done. And it's a storm in a teacup. Without rhyme or reason, one small incident, they are blowing it out of proportion. The whole crux of the matter is a very grand temple, a beautiful temple, has been recreated on the lines of the typical Kalingan architectural style on the seashore in Digha. It replicates the temple at Puri in as much it is on the seashore, and even though on a lesser scale, but the design is the same. The temple has been in the making for a few years. It was not made overnight. It's there in a very popular seaside resort, just like Puri. The crux of the matter today is that when the temple was inaugurated, there were full-fledged advertisements in which it was written that this is the Jagannath Dham. A few people of Odisha, the political class, took umbrage and objected on it being called a Dham, because obviously Puri being a Dham, one of the 4 holy Dhams of India. Historically, over the years, we know it is one of the most sacred Dhams. The establishment of the Govardhan Peeth with the Sankaracharya in place, and the temple has been a Dham for centuries. Everybody knows it. One of the important Dham. The Govardhan Peeth is the Rigvedic Peeth, one of the most important Peeths, and Sankaracharya is one of the most, the most exalted one. This happened is maybe for political consideration or due to sheer ignorance. When they gave full-page advertisements for the Digha temple, they mentioned it as a Dham. Them mentioning doesn't make it a Dham. Our reasserting that this is Dham is not necessary. This is already a Dham established centuries, not by one but crores and crores of pilgrims who have come here over the years. We don't need to reassert it. In fact, and just putting an advertisement there doesn't make it a Dham. I am sure it was only there for the inaugural day. They won't call it the Dham again. That was one. The second issue was the idols that were made there in that one. One of the senior Sevayats here, he gave a controversial statement to some channel in Bengal, stating that I made the 3 idols from the leftover wood of the darus which were bought in the last Navakolavera. After the deities had been made here, the leftover wood, I used it for making that, which after deliberations with the Maharanas who had actually done the construction, seemed an impossible task. They say that there were only splinters, bits and pieces of wood. There was no solid big wood left, that you can make another big idol. They said maybe 6 inches, 8 inches or a foot you could have made from that. Now, most of the rituals of Jagannath, many of them, not most, including the one of the Navakalavera, are mired in secrecy. Okay, they don't come out. It's not told, And for obvious reasons, over the years, it has happened as a tradition which is kept, respected, honored, and should remain. Till today, none of us knew. None of us, nobody in the state, except maybe with the select Sevayat who were in charge of it, knew that there was leftover wood after and where it was kept or where it was stored. So it comes to us now that pieces of the wood are stored in a small hut or somewhere in the Koili Basanta, the garden which is there in the rear. The statement of the Sevayat stating that I had made from them, apparently something which he withdrew. He said, I never said it. And he was admitted there is no chance of. He said, I got them made elsewhere. And his contention was that when I was invited to the temple, I found out that they had made the idols in stone. which is a big aberration in the worship of Jagannath. It has never happened. So I told them that no, you cannot install stone idols, you have to do it in wood and neem wood, like it is traditionally done. So adhering to his wishes, he says, Mamata Banerjee agreed, and those wooden things were destroyed. And he was assigned the task to make such big idols and transported them, which he says that he got them made and he transported it there, and they were consecrated, and the temple was done and all. That's the second issue. Well, that's a matter of conjuncture. There were two issues, them using the name Dham for the place, and his saying that I had taken the leftover wood. The political class here took umbrage, a few of the servitors took umbrage, and the temple administrator. They said that this was a gross, misdemeanor, which shouldn't have happened. So there was a big controversy. What I got to know today, the concerned people were summoned, and the statements were whatever they were taken. I don't think it was possible, if the wood was kept inside the temple, to take it out. The temple is under CCTV surveillance for 24 hours. You don't even need questioning, you can check the CCTVs. And such a big piece of wood certainly was not left over, because it has already been told by the Maharana who had made, the carpenters who had made the Vigraha. They said no, it's impossible. Next to impossible, it cannot be done. We have to take the man's word for it. The temple administrator has already written to the CM of Bengal to remove the word Dham, which I think, in her best sense of judgment, she will do it. I think they only use it for the inauguration. Now the issue has precipitated and ballooned, stating that this is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy to keep the Bengali pilgrims and tourists away from Puri. Digha is a seaside resort. You can replicate it at Puri. Certainly it's cheaper. And many of the Bengali pilgrims who used to come to Puri used to have both holiday and pilgrimage. They used to enjoy on the beautiful seashore, overcrowded seashore, dirty seashore now except for the blue beach, and the crowded temple. Digha will be another alternative. There are provision of hotels and resorts which are cheaper. Now they have a temple there, which may not be as grand and as big as this, but certainly it's a temple to Lord Jagannath. Both these things, having a holiday and going on a pilgrimage, can be fulfilled. But about 3 hours drive from Calcutta. Digha has a rail connectivity. It has very good bus connectivity. So what they apprehend here is this a conspiracy to take away business from Puri, which I feel is absolutely wrong. The Jagannath temple at Puri is the Jagannath temple of Puri, the original temple. The temple which has been worshipped for centuries. The temple which is the epicenter of spiritualism, of the identity of Odisha. This temple which drew everybody all the holy men of the country, be it Guru Nanak, be it Kabir, be it Ramanujan, be it Malikuddin, be it Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody was drawn to Puri. Puri at one given time had more than 170 mutts. 22 of them were destroyed in the last beautification drive when they thought they'll make a parikrama, ham-brained idea. They reduced 22 ancient mutts which had associational significance with the temple, which were as old as the temple. They were razed to the ground, and that time it was said we are going to reconstruct all of them. Not a single one has been reconstructed. This controversy, there is no controversy. If Mamata Banerjee writes and says that I will not use the word Dham, and you have to take the Sevait's version that I didn't use the wood, it's finished. What I say now is Jagannath has been politicized, used by the political class since the last 15 years to a great extent. They use him every little thing. The previous government also, during the Navakalavara, what had happened was highly politicized. The opening of the Ratna Bhandar, the counting of the Ratna Bhandar, the repair of the temple, the opening of the 4 gates, the mismanagement in the temple, the loss of the keys were all used by the present ruling government in the last elections. They used it to the hilt and they reaped results. They promised all sort of things, we'll get the key, and all the Ratnas have gone off to some another state, they have been pilferages and all, which I don't think is true. They said we'll repair the Ratna Bhandara within a month. It's a year now. They said things will improve. They have worsened. They said we'll open the 4 doors and ease pilgrim flow. It has only worsened. Pilgrims face a harrowing time. There's a huge influx of VIP culture. The VIP culture has come to such an extent that practically every other day, the pilgrims who come from afar, the poor pilgrims, have a harrowing time because the temple is closed for 4, 5, 6 hours to accommodate, which includes the President of India, the Prime Ministers, any minister who comes down, film actresses, This is wrong. This VIP culture in Jagannath temple should stop.
Stop this culture, sir.
It's not in the rule book. If you throw the rule book, you say Dham is in the rule book, and when how and why and when the Rath Yatra will be held, it is all codified. Codify this also. Jagannath is the Lord of the masses. He is the Lord of the poor, for the underprivileged, for the downtrodden. People don't treat him like a god. They treat him like a friend, a companion. He is open for everybody. For him, everybody is a VIP. It be the President of India, it be a common citizen, be a very poor man. Do you know the Puri temple? The harrowing time, women, old women, senior citizens, pregnant women, handicapped women, small children, the difficult time they have. You don't even get darshan for 3 or 4 seconds. You are pushed and jostled, the police personnel there on duty misbehave. There are touts working there. There are cyber thieves there. The bookings you do for all these hotels and all, they pilfer your money. There are pickpockets. Tourists are exploited. Why don't you give attention there? Why don't you make the temple very friendly? Why don't you give free prasad to at least 5,000 devotees a day? Why are you playing with the temple, gilding it with gold and silver and this and that and whatnot? Leave the temple as it is. Why don't you repair the temple? Why don't you follow the High Court and the Supreme Court's decision and give the status report of the temple? Unnecessarily, without rhyme or reason, you take on frivolous issues. किसी ने धाम बोल दिया, nothing is going to come out of it. Okay, every other day you hear something negative. No good news come from a temple. Some non-Hindu has gone in, or something or the other has happened. Some sevas have fought among themselves and blood. Somebody has been molested in the temple, and some beef-eating person has gone in. This is wrong. The political class should keep away. Why during the Rath Yatra is a VIP gallery made, where hundreds of VIPs, all the entire cabinet, the entire MLAs, the MPs, judges, politicians of all class, they sit in air-conditioned comforts. They are served by waiters. 50% of the people there, the official machinery and the police are for their bandobast. Why don't they go home and see it on TV? Why should the other people have a harrowing time? They are fainting, in the heat, this, that and whatnot. There are jostling, there are stampedes, there are mini stampedes, Why are special paths made for all these VIPs to come? Why are they entertained? This doesn't happen in any other religion. You go to a Gurudwara, everybody is a common man. You go to a mosque, everybody is a common man. You go to a church, which God says that for Jagannath, who does it matter a difference? Don't. And the sheer lack of empathy of this political class or the superior class or the rich people who go, causing, the President of India comes. There are 10,000 or 20,000 people which are inconvenienced, standing in lines, She should feel it herself. You really think God is happy? You are inconveniencing so many people. I don't want to name it. It's maybe, I'm sure she's a very simple lady. She can also do that. Okay, for security reasons, you have to do it. Ask her to come at 3 o'clock in the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, when nobody is inconvenienced. A judge goes, you have to shut off a door. There are a contingent of 40 people who have to take him around. So many people are pushed and thrown, and this is it's wrong. Everybody and his uncle who is a VIP. They get VIP treatment. The rich, they can go into the sanctum sanctorum. They can hug the Lord. The curtains are drawn. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Stop it. This year in the Rath Yatra, there should be no VIP gallery. Let them walk all the way if they can. Don't go. Millions and millions of people watch it on TV. If you have to be there in person, be them like the common folk. Be there in the crowds. Don't inconvenience the administration, I don't know why even the judges don't take, heed of all this. Do you know how much havoc you are creating? And this VIP darshan in Puri should stop. Jagannath is not a VIP god. There are gods who are VIP. Jagannath is all-embracing, all-encompassing. If you create all these hurdles, you are doing wrong. And anybody who takes advantage is a sinner, I would say. Make facilities for the poor. It's not even handicap friendly. Can you know? A person on a wheelchair, can you visit the temple? A very old woman who has to take a walker, do you know? Is there a special line for them? Make Jagannath a pilgrim friendly place, okay? Do anything and everything you can for them. Forget the VIP culture in the temple. Ignore it. ଆପଣ ତ ଶଙ୍କରାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କୁ ପଚାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ଆଜ୍ଞା ଏ ଭିଆଇପି ମାନେ ଯିବେ ଶଙ୍କରାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଯଦି ଯିବ 40 ଜଣଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ତାକୁ ଆଗରେ ଆମକୁ ଜଣା କୋଉ ଦ୍ୱାର ମରୁ ତ ପଶିବ କେତେ ଲୋକ ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଥିବେ ରଥରେ କେତେ ଲୋକ ଚଢିବେ he the ଶଙ୍କରାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ is the the lord and master. The Sevaiyat community is highly politicized. मोर कहवा दरकार नहीं आगे previous government थिला ये government आसी आगे the local MP, the local elected representative should seriously think that's a job. आम मैंने कहीं कहबू सिविल सोसाइटी आम भुवनेश्वर बस तुम जान मु जो कथा कहली कौन ये अवगत नहांती कि मुझे भूल कही फिर आपण मैंने अवगत नहांती आपन को भी तो लोक कहते केते असुविधा लोक भिड़ छिड़ा फेंटिंग दिस शुड स्टॉप आउ अननेसेसरली जगन्नाथ को मु जमती कहली मु व्हेन आई वाज डूइंग द जगन्नाथ सड़क यात्रा I found 2 temples in West Bengal which had stone images. I was shocked. I told them this is not the norm. I will give you a neem. This is there from 200 years. Our forefathers have done it. We don't want it. I didn't photograph them and throw them in the media. Some things are secret. They are worshipping it. Let them do it their way. Who am I to come? I could have published the photograph. Wooden stone statues. Okay, that would have created a stir. No, I will tell you now. You can go and see. There are so many things which happen in the temple. Let it just keep it. Why do you want to publicize every little thing? Today, every third day, the minister issues a statement. Today, this has happened in the Garbhagriha. Tomorrow, after the Rath Yatra, before the Rath Yatra, we'll finish. Why? Don't politicize Jagannath. Enough is enough. Okay. Stop it. Let as many temples of Jagannath be opened all over the world. Let as many, when there are thousands of Rath Yatras and there are thousands of temples, can you control them? Can you keep tab on who did when and where and how? Can you? There will come a time. Jagannath is a very popular, I told you, everybody loves Jagannath. Okay. It will happen. Every month or every week there is a new temple opening somewhere. Every city will now hold a Rath Yatra, small or big, whatever it is, Can the temple control everything? When there are 10,000 Rath Yatras in the world, one Puri temple, does it have the wherewithal to see how each and one is conducted? So unnecessarily don't engage in frivolous things. Let the political class keep away from the temple. You have got a very able administrator. Leave it on him. He can handle it and he can handle it the best way. And when you say all these things, it hurts the sentiments of the devotees. Wrong or right? Okay.